The Prime Minister is preparing to travel to Japan ahead of this weekend's G7 summit. Anthony Albanese is now hoping to pull off a replacement meeting of the Quad leaders after the Sydney event was cancelled when US President Joe Biden pulled out. Live now to federal politics reporter Reese D'Alessandro. Reese, it's being seen by some as a win for Beijing.
Yeah, Sophie, the Quad meeting cancellation off the back of the President's decision to shorten his trip abroad is raising some questions this morning about the reliability of the US as a regional ally. US President Joe Biden seen this morning leaving Washington, D.C., travelling from the White House to Air Force One, now on his way to Japan and the G7 summit. This is the part of his trip he remains committed to. Preparations are now in full swing at the G7 summit in Hiroshima. It's where the Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, will still hold a bilateral meeting with the President. What's yet to be confirmed, though, is whether the Quad leaders of Australia, the US, India and Japan will hold a replacement meeting there as well. In the meantime, President Biden's press secretary has sought to emphasise just how important the Quad relationship is to the United States.
The Indo-Pacific is incredibly important. That's why we have the Quad. That's why we continue to grow that relationship and continue that relationship. And it is critical, right, as we look at the Americans' role globally.
While this is all unfolding, the Chinese ambassador to Australia is giving an address at the Chinese embassy here in Canberra. Here's some of what he's had to say about the Australia-China relationship.
If I have to say, last year was a year of stabilization and improvement. This year, I would rather term it as a year of exchanges and dialogues.
There's seemingly some reference there to the ongoing trade talks between our two countries, Sophie. It is a fine balancing act. The Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, is expected to depart Australia for Japan tomorrow.
A busy weekend ahead for our PM. Reese, thank you.